we're still seeing, of course, is left-wing news outlets like MSNBC, and they just can't handle that Donald Trump is back. Let's take a look at Rachel Maddow declaring at one point, how is this happening during parts of the inauguration coverage while she was speaking about tech billionaires attending? But this is a bit more of her coverage.
The second inaugural address my take on it was that it had more of a vibe of a State of the Union address than an inaugural address, I think in part because it was indoors. And that made it sort of feel like he was addressing a joint session of Congress, even though he wasn't, even though this was an inaugural address. President Trump spoke in his sort of trademark low monotone, gave his list of grievances.
And here is Joy Reid losing it.
The promises on the table are 200 some odd executive actions, an attempt to get rid of birthright citizenship, an attempt to do mass deportation, which we thought was being threatened on the state of Illinois and the city of Chicago, apparently, which said, yeah, you can't come here and do that. And maybe they backed down. We're talking about an attempt to portray this peaceful transition of power with people who were convicted in the insurrection attempt.
Emily, is this what we're going to see for the next 4 years, just more of Trump derangement syndrome?
Oh, let me tell you something. Trump winning was the best thing that could have happened for The View, for Rachel Maddow. Now they have the next 4 years to have their meltdowns because of their TDS on live television. But the truth is, I genuinely don't understand how they have the funding behind them to keep on going. And then I almost partially blame ourselves because it's almost that we enable them by giving their meltdowns this attention on X, even if it's bad attention, as Elon Musk said. Viral is viral, attention is attention, and we keep handing it to them. But this was a win for them because them and their common folks with TDS can bond mutually over their cry sessions.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what the future holds for outlets like those as more and more people use platforms such as X or digital platforms to get their news and to communicate. But I want to talk to you about some of the decisions that Donald Trump has been making in such a short period of time. President Trump signed an executive order temporarily suspending all US foreign assistance programs for 90 days to review them properly. And this includes halting funding for UNRWA, the UN agency that has deep links to terror. We know that several UNRWA staff members took part in the horrific October 7 attacks. There's also been evidence that the agency has been spreading anti-Israel messages in schools. So this must be welcome news.
Of course, and I think this is the only way to proceed. I feel like there's too much panic about, they're thinking that he's abolishing these or getting rid of these programs, but what they're doing is merely investigating. When you're transitioning from a presidency that was a failure of a presidency, you need to investigate everything that they've instated and then evaluate, is this what we want to keep for the next 4 years? Do we reform this or do we cancel this? This is exactly how a transition should take place, and he's taking all the steps to do it the right way.